What's good? What's good? We are back. One and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. We started going live now. Used to go pre-recorded, but now we live. We live on Facebook, we live on Instagram, and we live on YouTube. And we about to bring on a special guest. He will be fighting at BKFC Fight Night, Clearwater, Florida. Main event is Warren versus Creer. That's May 2nd, 2025, 7 p.m. Eastern Time at the OCC Roadhouse and Museum, Clearwater. And he will be fighting a guy who will be making his debut in the BKFC, Chachi Versace. Let's bring on the one and only good friend of the show, Anthony the Devil's Advocate Yost. And what's good, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? Long time no speak, man. It's good to be back.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you back into the BKFC thing. I know you said you were gonna take a break for a little while, but I guess you changed your mind on that.
Yeah, man. Like most fighters, I'm glad you brought me on because from the last time we talked to the time we're talking now, is I went through a lot of ups and downs and more of a soul searching situation because as much as I was real happy after my last performance, I did lose and I did lose twice back to back. So in the end, ultimately, we were trying to like debate on what we should do next.
Mhm.
I do have a background in many years of MMA, amateur. I had 5 professional. So we're like, okay, maybe we'll go back to this. And then just really I know what it takes to be a professional MMA guy. I've had the honor of training with some high level guys, and I just am not putting in the time in the grappling aspect as I should have been to even think about stepping in there. Me and my
Mhm.
coach just thought, you know what? Let's just take that extra time. Let's not do MMA. Let's just focus on bare knuckle, and we'll just wait for the right opportunity to pop up. So that's what me and Scott decided to do: is take our time, perfect my craft, and wait for the right opportunity.
So you about to fight Chachi Versace, making his debut. So I'm guessing there's no footage of him, right?
Uh, well, my wife is awesome at this, so I did get to see some of his amateur MMA fights that he did have,
Okay.
which he only has, I think, like 4 or 5. And then he has a few small, quick little clips of his amateur BKFC fights he had. So I know most fighters are like, it's my coach's job to study. It's, I'm not going to do any of that. Well, I took a complete different route this time around, and I am stalking Chachi. I mean, 2 days after our fight was announced, I know he got the same notification on Facebook that says Anthony Yost is now a top fan. I mean, like I want to know everything about him. So I've been trying to study, and I have seen some recent footage that his gym posted of him sparring. Actually, I mean, I don't know why, but hey, and all that stuff. So I have got to study him a little bit. So I guess some footage, but the clearest footage definitely would be his amateur days, and that was years ago. So you can't really go off of that.
Now, I like what you said there, because a couple fighters have been saying that, like, they just kind of trust their coaches to kind of, look up the fighter's background, give them the game plan. But you as a fighter, I mean, you should be able to look up some stuff yourself and kind of put your own little input too, right?
Yeah, and I agree. I trust Scott with everything, man. I trust him to teach my kids. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, and but I also feel like in the moment of the fight, it is just me and it is just him. So I feel like it is my responsibility as a fighter myself to do the research. So it's not just listening to my coach, but being able to visualize what we're talking about also.
And what's his fight style from what you've seen?
Uh, Amateur. I mean that in the nicest way. He is just kind of a brawler, and I did listen to one of his. He did a podcast over not too like towards the beginning of it, and he made the comments. He's like, "Well, I've been in a lot of street fights," and in my mind, first
Okay.
thing that pops in my head, I've been around this game for 15 years, my man. Being in street fights is And this is coming from somebody that, I mean, this is coming from a humble point of view. I have had 2 bare knuckle fights, and I have been dropped in both of them. So I understand the dangers of this sport. And there is nothing like, street fights do not compare to getting punched to an actual professional athlete bare knuckle. It is
Yeah.
a different story. It is not like the gloved ones. I think he's going to come in kind of like a brawler. So I think that's what he's, from what I've done research on, is I'm going to look at the ground and throw some hooks and hope they land.
Now I see you posted something where I guess Chachi, being that he's part of Knuckletown official, he's kind of a favorite. People they like him, so they probably rooting against you and rooting for him. So what's the mindset? Ain't that like some extra motivation when you go in there, like knowing that there's probably a lot of cats rooting against you because they like him?
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I've done a lot of growing since the last time we talked. So I am looking at this opportunity to look at it as, I know that on paper and in my brain that his skill set is nowhere near mine. So getting this opportunity to go into his hometown where he is sponsored by the venue, I've seen him up on the stage at the venue discussing our fights. I see that our picture is literally on the TV screens inside the bar. Like if you go to like the B Dubs, the best way, and they have like the monitors with
Wait, so the
sports.
venue that you're fighting at is sponsoring him?
Yeah, he is sponsored directly from there. I think he helps throw events there.
Okay.
And so he's one of them guys. He's a biker. He seems like a really good local dude. But if, in all honesty, nothing he does has really impressed me. I'm not saying he can't win. Like I said, I am a humble guy with that aspect, that I understand what can happen in this sport because I've been in there. But if I say who I say I am, I'm going to go in there and I'm excited for the opportunity to go into this hometown and see how I perform in that aspect of it. Like, how can I perform under that type of pressure?
Do you see that as a conflict of interest at all, that the venue y'all are fighting in is sponsoring him?
No, like at first I know most people would, but again,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as I am training 2-3 times a day now. I started my own business, so like I got more time to work, and I am putting in the extra work that if I go in there and I am who I say I am, I'm gonna do exactly what I think I'm gonna do to Chachi. So being in the venue, being around his fans, being around his family, all them sponsors, everybody, I'm just kind of like, I'm ready to silence them.
Now, is this one a must win for you? And if not, is it important that you put on a good show or a good fight?
I looked at my second one as okay, Anthony, win, lose, put on a good show. And I did that.
Okay.
This one, in my mind, is a must win.
Okay.
I am 0-2. And it's not like I went in there and had 2 amazing barn burner brawls and put on like these fantastic 5-rounders, 4-rounders where they're like, wow, yeah. I mean, I went in there and I got humbled the first one. We discussed that. And the second one, I got in there. I did what I needed to do, but I let the excitement get to me and I made the mistakes. And Mike, as a professional as he is, he capitalized on it and he got his hand raised. So now this one, I mean, 2 first-round finishes like that, I have to go in there and I have to perform and I have to put on a beautiful masterpiece. I don't just have to win this one. I have to do it and I have to look good doing it.
Now, right before the fights, like, what do you do to like get you pumped up? Do you got like a favorite song you play, or what's the process of that?
I'm kind of done a little bit of little everything. I've been around a long time, so like I've had moments where I've got overly hyped and like was like yelling at my opponent, hitting my chest. I've done stuff like that. But really, just I would have to say the biggest thing that I've kept pretty consistent over the 15 years since I was 16 was Fight Week is full of fight movies. Rocky,
Okay.
Fighters,
Okay.
the Fighter. Mark Wahlberg one is my favorite, man.
What?
It is.
Oh, the Mark Wahlberg one. I was watching
Yeah.
the one the other day. The one with Clint, the $1 Million Baby or whatever.
That was actually one of my My mom showed me that when we were younger, and where she
Yeah,
falls
that's a
and
really
breaks her
good
neck.
movie, man.
That one has a good storyline behind it. But yeah, that one I would have to say is the thing I've done most is the fight movies on Fight Week.
And that one with Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bell, man, he played the hell out of his role, yo.
Man, the way he acts, he is very unique, man. He has played some characters from psychopaths to druggies to
Yeah, yeah,
Batman.
yeah. I first knew, like, really got onto him when he did the Shaft joint, but he played in a movie back in the days called Emperor of the Sun when he was a kid that I watched when I was a kid, man. So he been around for a hot minute. Um,
Never heard of that one.
let's see. Yeah, Emperor of the Sun. It's like a movie where him and his family was like in Japan when the war, like the I guess World War II time when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, and they were kind of over in Japan, and he ended up all by himself. It's pretty dope though. Now,
That sounds pretty good.
so you've been doing a lot of MMA. Like, how much did you get cut in MMA towards like bare knuckle? Like, are you ever worry about the cuts and bare knuckle and whatnot?
BKFC was the first, the one
You
in
still there?
Pachango. Yeah, I can. I'm still here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Yeah.
yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Sweet, sweet. BKFC Pachango was the first time I was ever cut in 15 years. I they I had
Okay.
I had one in my eyebrow, one on my eyelid, and then my tooth went through my lip.
Your tooth went through your lip on the mic fight?
Yeah, he cut you actually. And it was one of the really cool clips. Not a. He caught me with a check hook. You see it where like it echoes, and that check
Uh-huh.
hook put my tooth through my lip.
Man. Now, how painful was that?
I didn't feel it till the next day. I would have to say
Okay, so
after
in
the.
the moment you just didn't know what happened, and then
No, I didn't even know I was cut. I went back there and they're like, "Oh, we gotta get stitches." It's like, "Oh, okay." And then I got my stitches. I went back to the thing and Scott, back to the locker room, and Scott's like, "Hey, Anthony, dude, your lips like, are they gonna stitch that?" And I guess it was like split open. And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I got to go back and get it." They couldn't see it because of the beard.
yeah, it seems like bare knuckle has more of a risk for the stoppages when cats' eyes get closed shut or the cuts just get too bad, man.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say is your biggest strength inside the ring, and then what would you think is your biggest weakness that you might need to work on?
I would have to say my biggest strength throughout this camp again, I've been doing a lot of searching, and when I first started, I wanted to forget about my MMA career. I'm like, you know what? Fresh start, new Anthony, new me, whatever. But then I realized, like, Anthony, you have something a lot of these guys don't. Yeah, I started when I was 16, before
Yeah.
commission. So I've been fighting. I have 30 fights. I think my biggest strength would be my experience. I know it's not
Okay.
bare knuckle in
Yeah.
general, but it's the fact that I have been competing uh, as a martial artist since I was 16. So I'm 31 now. So more than half my life, my fight experience I got from fighting. So I think my experience would be my strength, and my weakness up until this point, um, keeping my composure at times. As you can tell against Mike, where I just got a little overexcited and I forgot the game plan. That's what we've been working on, is a lot of mental strength and sticking to the game plan for this camp. So I'd have to say my weakness would have to be composure at times, and then my strength is my experience.
Yeah, because you definitely had the advantage on Mike real early, and then right after that, um, he basically got it back. So
Yeah, it was
now,
lack of
wh-
composure.
when you train in MMA and you train in a bare knuckle, how much do they differ?
It's well, the wrestling, of course, the ground aspect. I'm
Okay.
not so before I'd be going into the gym. And again, in my MMA career, I didn't take it as serious as I should have. I was a young kid. A lot of it, I didn't have the proper training. Scott's actually my first real coach throughout my whole
Okay.
career. So my MMA is we would just show up and I spent more time fighting than learning to fight, if that makes sense. in my training days, so I didn't train properly. We'd show up to the gym, we'd throw gloves on, no shin pads, and we just spar for hours.
Yeah.
We would do. So I think, but for now, I'm taking the time to focus. The time I would be focusing on the ground, I'm taking to focus on my body. So I'm doing a lot more strength and conditioning. I'm doing a lot more, I would have to say, technical pad work. So it's not, and it's just boxing. So I get to just, it's easier. In all honesty, I'd have to say.
So you brought up boxing, which is kind of goes into my next question. So you got a cat coming from boxing, and you got a cat coming from MMA, and they're both coming in the bare knuckle. Who do you think's got the easier transition?
MMA guys.
MMA guys. Okay.
For the defense aspect of it, we are used to the smaller gloves.
Okay.
And we get more of the skin on skin contact.
Yeah, y'all used to something a little closer to bare knuckle, opposed to the boxing. They got the thick gloves. Because I'm hearing boxing, a lot of cats saying the boxers really have a problem coming in the bare knuckle. Austin Trout seems to figure it out, but a lot of those cats don't really seem to figure it out.
Yeah, that's one thing, again, Scott is really big on, is big gloves is really, I don't use them at all. I train, when I hit pads, it's either strictly bare knuckle, like we wrap my hands and I hit them with bare knuckle, or I have like MMA gloves, like training gloves I'll wear. And then when we spar, it's headgear and MMA sparring gloves, the muffin tops. We're not, because in bare knuckle, it's not all about hitting them hard. It's about touching them. Boom, 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 boom. So 16 ounces is something we do not really use. I mean, I do sometimes, like when I'm in Muay Thai class, but like during fight camps, I won't use them at all because of the blocking. You create bad habits doing a lot of this.
Yeah.
So I think that would why we have the advantage over the boxers is the defensive portion of it.
Now, what has been your biggest challenge in your fighting career?
Believing in myself.
Okay.
I think I look back at my career and you look back at my fights, and I've always started good, or if I put myself in a bad position or I felt like I was put in a bad position, I kind of gave up on myself. I'm like, I give up, or I would skip them training days. I used to have to cut to make 135. I used to struggle. Okay. I used to miss weight. I used to just not believe in myself enough because I wasn't putting in the work. And now I'm walking at 35, 36. Like, I mean, I woke up this morning 10 pounds off of fight weight, and we're a month out, 3.5 weeks out. I'm healthy. Like, even when I fought Mike, I had to cut to make 35.
Is it harder to lose the weight or to gain the weight?
It's harder to lose the weight because, like, I have, like, what most fighters probably go through. This is a real thing at times, is especially when we don't have fights. I think Dustin Poirier said it best, is you can just be a danger to yourself sometimes. And like, I think maybe a lot of fighters have this. I know I do. I just talked about it with my wife today. Is like, it's kind of like an eating disorder, truthfully, man. Because like, I can work hard for 2 weeks and then I'll crash and I'll just blow up another 10 pounds in a weekend. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. And then it's just, everything's gone, and then you're beating yourself up again. And I used to do that consistently all the time, and I just wasn't cutting weight right. And so I wasn't believing in myself. But now this time around, for the first time, and I would have to say my 15-year career, I truly do. The one thing I think I've lacked my whole career is something I will not lack in this one. And that's the belief in myself.
Now I look at like things that people do that they love, and fighters definitely are doing something they love, but how hard is it? It seems like such a challenge in the fight game to make a living compared to every other thing I see in life or sports in general. Like, every other sport seems easier to make a living except fighting. Is that a really big challenge for fighters? I mean, because I see a lot of guys saying, guys posted about bonuses and can't pay rent because they ain't got bonuses, and you know.
I agree, man. And that's another thing with me in fighting. I also think this has to do with how long I've been doing this. I see MMA or martial arts in general is It's not. It's a poor man's sport. If
Oh,
you're
that
looking to
makes
get,
sense.
don't get me wrong, you can get rich off of this. There's people
Yeah,
that have
yeah.
done, but you got to be special. And again, just like any superstar, you get a handful of quarterbacks to make the NFL, but you only get one or two of them that are absolutely fantastic. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Make that extra cash. And fighting, if you're looking to get rich, man, it's a long road ahead of you. I do it because, man, I just at the time I didn't choose fighting. Fighting was really just the way there's one thing I had to get out of where I was. Fighting brought me to where I am. I met my wife through fighting, so I've got my kids through fighting. My whole life's been evolved around it, but I've never really looked at trying to get rich off of it.
What do
It's
you think truly gives the fighter the leverage to say, "Hey, I got to get paid this much to fight"? Because it ain't the wins. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
it's,
Because I
it's
see dudes that are like undefeated and still can't get paid
yeah,
the
it's,
big
def-
money.
it's definitely ticket sales, the way you present yourself.
Yeah,
That's why I love the opportunity you're giving me here, because this is networking and putting my words together, and being from a small town. This is something I need to work on too. And plus, I love hanging out and chatting about my upcoming fights too. I think, of course, performance, personality, and don't be a dick. Like, the more you bug them about it, I feel like that's a big issue. Like, when you bug these guys for the bonuses, where you're like, "Yo,
yeah.
man,
They after a while they just like, man, I'm tired of this dude calling for this bonus.
yeah," they don't want to hear that, my man. I mean, nobody wants to hear that.
And the bonuses aren't really in the contracts, anyways, are they?
No, definitely not.
So they're just like, and I don't see. Is that most fight promotions? Do they give out bonuses like that?
At least in the local scene, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
never got any cool bonuses or anything like that. I mean, I think when I was 18, I won Knockout of the Year in Minnesota. I didn't get no medal or nothing like that. It was just an article written about me. That was about it. They don't hand out stuff like that. But I mean, I get it in the bigger promotions, but to beg for it I think it's unnecessary, and they're not going to want to bring you on for that. Just be yourself, have fun, and if they like you, they like you. It's really about getting the fans to like you the most, I believe.
I saw Bare Knuckle Show was shouting you out the other day about your fight coming up, and you always stay in the chat because you a fan of this too. What I
Absolutely.
see, you always on the like you was on the when Brian had the live stream going on the other day for the first fight night. You popped in there. I was like, yeah, this guy's he's not just a fighter of the sport. He's definitely a fan of the sport too.
Now, when I say fan, check this out. I do like a little get together with my brothers every Sunday
Uh,
and Wednesday. We do like a little talk. But I mean, when I say I'm a fan, all the way from Pachanga, I have every fighter, who won, how they won, their record, everything like that.
what the hell?
Because it's not just about we do our picks, of course, but it's not just
Wow.
about that to me. It's about figuring out who I like to see, what I like to see, their styles, the way people move. Which one of these people do I like most? And I want to take things from each one of them. So I study this. I don't miss a show. This is what I want to do. And I believe that studying, even on off nights when people not in my weight class are fighting, is just as important. So yeah, I have everybody from Pachango, every card. I haven't missed one.
I know that some guys say they never watch the fight cards. I mean, what do you think about that?
They're in it for the wrong reasons, at least in my mind.
Are
I'm
they
in it
just in it
to
for the
love the
money,
show.
you think, and the fame when they don't watch none of the sport that they're in?
Um, maybe for some, I can't say too much on a lot of people, because I know I've been
Mhm.
around people that are like promoters and other fighters that just don't watch MMA, because it's like, holy shit, my whole life has to do with this. Why would I want to watch it? I'll watch important shows. But
Okay, I get that. Yeah, yeah.
yep. But being me, I'm a little bit lower level. I'm still learning the sport. I think it's very important unless you're, I mean, even champions. Kai, I see him in pods. I see him doing this stuff. I see them studying. I think there's more to this game. If you watch the elites, they watch everything. You know what I mean? They comment and they study everything. And I do believe that it's important.
Speaking of Kai, congratulations to him.
Congrats.
he seems like the most hated guy in BKFC as far as all the champions go. What do you think that's about? Is it his mustache?
No, I like his mustache, man. Until I shaved it, I had to trim. I was messing with mine for a bit, but
Yeah.
my wife won't kiss me with a long mustache. But no, I don't know. I think it's his personality. He's young. He's
He is
stylish.
cocky now. He's getting cockier and cockier the more he wins.
But the more he wins is one of them things. Again, I've been around a long time, so it's kind of like can't be really mad at the guy.
No,
He's.
because
I don't know why
he
people
knows
are. I
people
agree.
betting against him all the
Mhm.
time. They always every fight they like, nah, this the one, this the one, this the one. Everybody they put up against him. I mean, Howard Davis,
Yep.
El Gallo. I mean,
That's what I was gonna say. Is
it doesn't
two of
matter.
his title defenses were against two of the probably biggest ticket sellers over in that area, and he
You
went
talking about
to
Howard and El Gallo?
Howard and El Gallo over there in Miami. He went to Miami and he won back-to-back fights like over there. And I mean, he did it with a smile on his face all 5 rounds. So I like the kid. I like his style. I know most people don't because I think it's because he's cocky, but he's backing it up.
And, you know, I like to stir up controversy, but I know when
Yeah.
I first got into this bare knuckle interview stuff, right? I was producing another podcast called Circle of the Kings with the guy Big Face who was with Knuckletown Official, but now he's with Nelson Lopez doing his show.
Oh, okay.
And I know from inside sources that the company had invested interest in Howard Davis winning that match because Shaq was his sponsor.
Yeah, I do. See, I think with Shaq with his sponsor, he brings something to the table, and that's
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I mean, even me and my brothers have discussed, like he has a big backing behind him. So why wouldn't you want him to? You know what I mean?
And they know Shaq pretty much when he gets involved in anything he gets involved into, he invests into.
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur through and through. That he knows what he's doing.
Like I could see Shaq actually buying ownership in BKFC down the line, because he just went to that last Howard Davis fight versus the
Palomino.
Baboon Luis Palomino.
Yeah, that was a good fight too. Yeah, he was down there. They had some good other celebrities over there too.
Now, who do you think is the face of BKFC? Or is there even a face of BKFC, or is there just a bunch of faces?
Right now, I wouldn't say there's one. I mean,
It doesn't seem like there's one guy head and shoulders, right?
Nah, like not one over another because I mean I know Kai's up there. You know what I mean? And then truthfully, I know Stevens has been up there. His face will pop around for a bit, and then around times you got Soto's another big name that has been thrown around a lot.
And Lorenzo Hunt, I would say before he got the little issue he had, but he's back now in Italy. So,
yep. I mean, I'm biased because I'm from Minnesota, but Richmond, with him coming back and winning that title, that's another guy that's kind of like has chance if he beats Dyer coming up, to get his name
if
back
he
up
beats
there.
Dyer, that's going to be a tough one.
So I think we're kind of like at a standstill. But I think Kai with this last win, the guy was 4-0, but then again, the way Allen fought, it's like, would have Kai done that to Allen? So it's like now you're like, okay, Kai is kind of above everyone because of this next win. But then you got guys like Ibarola that doesn't have a title.
He's on the come up. He's going to be getting it soon. He's fighting what, bantamweight?
Yeah, he's a 35er.
So he's got to go through Alberto Blas.
That is not
that's a task.
That's a task.
That's going to be hell, yo.
The dude hits hard.
Yeah.
For a 35er.
You know who I think is the best dude in the BKFC though right now? Perdomo, yo. Leonardo Perdomo, man. I mean, he is
I fought him last time.
He's a monster, yo. It's like
I think we talked about who do we think can go 20-0. I was like, I think that heavyweight.
Yeah. He's probably the guy. You're probably right, man. Because I mean, he should have a title shot next. His next fight should be a title shot, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and again, I'm from the Midwest, so like I'm a huge Ben Rothwell fan.
But that's gonna be
But it's like I mean, can he get inside Rothwell, or is Rothwell gonna clock him with that nice right hand on the way in? It's a fight I want to see.
but he just walks through everything. Leonardo
Everybody,
does. He just, I
everybody.
mean, and then the last guy tried to pull a scale, was going to try to hit him with the scale in the fight
Yeah,
in the
that was
weigh-in,
one.
and he got knocked out like.
That who's that one guy he fought? He's what's it? Not his last name. He's fighting in Italy. Adams is his last name. A really big. He's a very experienced guy. I don't know if his last name's Adams. He's fighting that new signee
I
Hayes.
don't know,
I
but
think he's
Arnold
fighting
Adams
Hayes.
been out the game for a while. I don't know
Not
what's up
Arnold.
with
Okay,
him.
it's not him. He's fighting that Hayes guy in Italy. It's a taller. He's a really experienced heavyweight. Multiple.
You said he's on the Italy card?
Yeah, I think he's going against that Hayes guy. But Perdomo
Let's
fought
see.
him, and
Hayes.
people
I
didn't
don't
give
see
him
him on
the.
the Italy card.
Maybe not. But he. Banks. Sorry.
Oh, Banks. Yeah.
Banks. People didn't give him credit for that fight as much as I think they should have, because that dude has done like Lethwei. He's done Muay Thai. He's done a little bit of everything from what I understood. And it's like that right there, even though he didn't do the bare knuckle, the dude is very highly experienced in martial arts in general. So to me, that's where really I'm like, okay, he could be something dangerous. That's the
I've
fight.
heard it's hard to get people to fight Perdomo, that they don't
Yeah.
want to. They know that if they fight him, their record is going to be blemished.
Yeah, it's like, is it really worth, the thousands of dollars or whatever? I don't know what they pay for the heavyweights. I would assume way more than a
Yeah.
flyweight. But is it worth getting blasted from somebody like him? Because I think he rocked that dude at weigh-ins with his forearm.
Yeah.
Before the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so you fight. This fight is going to be flyweight, right?
Yep.
Do you fight flyweight and bantamweight?
I've been a bantamweight most of my career, but with my size and my build, and like I said, I'm walking in mid-30s now, and that's just fully hydrated and everything like that. So we just believe the right way would be to 25.
So that's flyweight, right?
Flyweight, yep.
Now, and that seems like a better shot of coming out with a title in a flyweight. Because I mean, Dodds is getting old, man. John Dodds is 40 years old. I don't know how many more years he has. He ain't fought in a while. It's about time for him to fight.
Yeah, and he's not even the one I believe will have the title by the time I get there. Because like I plan on going 3-0 this year, and then next year kind of breaking the rankings. 25 division, there is a handful of guys they're making noise right now that I find to be super exciting, and I can't wait for all of us to make the flyweight division exciting.
I mean, because even like my guy J.R. Ridge, he ain't fought in a while. I mean, Chancey's kind of getting up there, and he's got a bunch of losses. They just got really this dude Aguero, whatever.
Aguero, yeah.
And
but
I don't know, does he even fight anymore?
I don't know. Right now, I feel like the ones that are like in the 25 division, like that are making noise, I think honestly the number 1 and number 2 would have to be, in my mind, would be Randall and Strode. I think Strode is number 1.
Oh, I forgot Strode. No, that's the guy.
Strode,
that's the guy to beat. He's the guy to beat.
When he first fought, I text my brother. I'll have to go back through it. And like I text my brother and I told him, I was like, Strode will be the one I have to beat to get the title. And I was like, Randall will be the one I have to beat to get to the title. I was like, I truly believe them two are the most dangerous guys at 125, respectfully. And I was super excited for their fight. I think them guys will be up there for a while. And I know a lot of people don't like him, but Justin Martinez has been making some noise.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy. He got back-to-back wins, yo.
I think what he did to Zay surprised me. I had Zay win that one because Zay is he's a brawler. He's an in-type brawler. And with Justin being a little bit more wild, it was like, I bet more that Zay was going to land like a dirty uppercut or something to win, but he proved me wrong, and he came in and he looked fast. I thought he looked a little wild, but it didn't matter because when you're that fast and you put that much pressure on, it don't matter where you're swinging from. Nobody can see it, and it's the ones you don't see that count. So I thought he went in there very well, and he played that one the right way. And I think he would have done it to that guy that gave up on him. I think he would have done the same thing to
You
that
talking about
Prince.
the Prince Gutierrez? That was a bad look, yo. That was really a bad look. That was
It
one of the
was.
worst fights I've seen in BKFC since I've been watching it. Like, this was very embarrassing, man. Like,
It
for that
was.
fighter.
It really was. I know. I'll see Mike again. I think he's
And he
another one
pulled out
that.
his last fight. He was supposed to fight Justin.
Yeah, I think what it was is his hand. But when you take, I think the thing about bare knuckle is for Mike. I like Mike. We still chat
I do
here and
too. I
there.
do too.
But respectfully, just coming from somebody that's taken certain damage like that before is I like Mike, but I think I took some years off of him when I hit him. Like I mean he hit the ground hard, and then he took a less harder shot against that next kid and fell twice. So I think on top of the damage he had done to his hand in them 2 fights, I think he just needed the break anyway to be
And
fully
he got
healthy.
knocked down both when he fought you, he got knocked down by you first, and then the other guy he fought knocked him down first.
Yeah, and he
And he
stumbled
came back
worse
and
in the
won. So
second
that
one.
ain't gonna work all the time. You getting knocked down first.
No, and I as a homie, I think I'd like to see him just take some time and rest that head a little bit. And I mean, there's only a few things you can't replace in your body, and the brain is one of them.
And I interviewed Andrew Strode. I was so amazed at how humble he is.
Yes, me too.
He is extremely humble.
He's just an everyday kid, man. Just I
No, he
can't.
sounds.
And I
That's
think
what
we're
he
the same
sounds like,
age.
an everyday kid. You know, I'm 45, so I was like, damn, this dude sound like he's 17 years old, man.
I don't know exactly how old he is, but I've seen clips. I haven't seen the whole thing, but he seems like a
Yeah.
nice. Even when he speaks during interviews and stuff like that, is he believes in himself, but he's confident, and he's not too cocky, and he's humble. Like he understands the game. He's going to be a problem, and he's going to be a star in the 125 division, I believe.
What do you think
He's
about the
not
last
already.
few cards? Like, how'd you like the Dubai show?
Oh man, I loved it. The first night was freaking awesome. Hart, of course, super pumped that she kept the title. Trout, I actually had Snake winning that fight. I mean, before the fight, of course, I picked Snake to win, not for anything, but he had more bare knuckle experience, and I thought he was going to come in and use his reach a little more, and he did it in the first round. But it didn't matter because Trout showed his world champion experience, and he turned it around and he played it smart, and he came back, and I think he won the fight.
Yeah,
Very
I
well.
was watching on Amazon, like, because I normally watch on Amazon, and the last fight got cut off. It like said live ended. I was like, what?
Oh man!
So I didn't get to see the main event fight, and I was so mad. But then the next night, everything went through, and I was happy for my girl Jessica Borga, man. Like,
we did.
I've never seen a female knock out another female in bare knuckle.
No, not like that. You don't even see that really in MMA. Like you see with like head kicks,
Yeah,
like that, but you don't
yeah,
see somebody throw 2 pistol rights down the middle and put somebody to sleep. She was fast. I didn't really see what happened and from that camera angle until the replay, and it's like, oh, she hit her with 2.
yeah.
Like, oh man, yeah, I had her winning also.
I mean, I only saw the 2 fights that she fought before, but both of the fights she demolished her opponents early in the rounds, and those were both TKOs, if I'm not mistaken. Her first 2, and this was a knockout. I mean, even Christine Faria hasn't really knocked nobody out like that.
No, and
they probably won't fight because Christine will have to come up to Borga's weight. Borga's not going to go down.
Nah, Borga takes care of herself really well. I think going to 35 would hurt her more. And let her be the champion, man. Like she earned that, Hold your 45 title. Don't go down, Run through some people. I think that'd be cool for her. Let's see. Beck Rawlings is a hard hitter woman that hasn't really put people out, but she's another one that, like, from what I've heard from other women, that hits like a tank. So Borga's strong.
So you looking to try to get on any of these cards overseas and whatnot?
I do want to. I don't have a passport or nothing, but my goal, as I told Scott, I was like, this year, my man, I was like, I promise you, we're going to go 3-0 this year. Next year, we're going to start traveling. I would love next year to just start breaking the rankings and fighting some people around the world.
So what are we going to expect with this fight with Chachi Versace, man? I mean, this is debut, so
we have not gonna lie, we have about 3 different game plans. We have done everything we possibly could to cover any types of grounds. I believe He's going to come in with his debut. It's in his hometown. He is doing all this promoting, which I thank him for. But that's a lot of pressure. I'm
Yeah.
coming in with a few $1,000s worth of tickets. My homies, my kids are going to be front row. My mom, we are there to silence the crowd. And what you can expect is for me to go in there, be calm, collective, smart, use my experience and my skills to make him panic and hopefully get him out of there in two.
Now, if it goes the long, like 5 rounds or something, you think he's gonna have the cardio for this? Because I'm starting to realize more and more, and the more I hear Lido talking about it, man, some of these guys are not understanding that the cardio has got to be top notch in this. That's why Kai Stewart is, to me, doing what he's doing. He's the king of cardio, man. He just he's relentless, nonstop. He don't tire out one
No,
bit.
he's on them toes, man. He has them twinkle toes for 10
Yeah,
minutes. Not even 10 minutes. He's hopping around while in between rounds. Well,
yeah.
he is talking to his corner. Endurance is a big thing. I think endurance in your shoulders, we train,
Mm-hmm.
and in your arms and in your legs, or everything like that is super important. So if it goes 5, I don't think he'll have the leg strength.
Mm-hmm.
He's come down from a heavier weight like I have. I was like
Okay.
185. I think he was like 280. So he's dropped a lot of weight, but
Wait, he was 280.
I think so. Yeah. Looking at photos.
What the hell?
Yeah. And I just looking at him.
Now was he a chunky 280? Like,
Yeah, he was ballooned up, my man. He was ballooned up.
so he's kind of like my man the Merck.
Uh,
Marcus
which
Suarez, where he was like, highly
Oh,
overweight and he
yep.
had a body transformation.
Yeah, that Chachi's like that, except I think the thing that's his downfall in this process is he just doesn't lift. I think the endurance in his muscles from dropping all that weight.
Mm-hmm.
He says he runs a lot. He doesn't really work on a diet. He's just mindful of what he eats, and I think that's something mistakes I've made in my past in my
Mm-hmm.
career. So I think that's a big downfall of him, because what you eat and what you put in your body and how you treat it, and with lifting and everything, really builds your muscles and makes you healthier and endurance. And I think there's no way his body can go the 10 minutes at the pace I can put on.
And I would think when you're like overweight like that, you're probably not really super strong and got a lot of power. So as the weight comes down, you're probably, because sometimes they say like if a cat like Borga goes to 135, she's probably gonna demolish those chicks because she's still gonna have that power.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like he probably wouldn't have no power because he wasn't really that built at all.
Yeah, and he was, when he did drop the weight and when he was fighting at heavier weights, he went to decision in his 2 stand-up fights. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has the power. If he doesn't have the power to put people down with gloves on, I mean, don't get me wrong, bare knuckles different because, you just hit him directly, but I think he's going to struggle with that.
You think he's gonna try to bum rush you out the gate?
Possibly because he's worked with Lorenzo a couple times.
Okay,
You know what I
I've
mean?
noticed
Lorenzo
that.
was
Yeah, he
on
been
there.
working with
So,
Lorenzo.
and he worked with like Street coming up to this fight, a couple other guys. I think he went over there for like 1 weekend and sparred with Reber and them guys. So he's got some good looks this camp. So we're expecting the best Chachi there is. So there is an opportunity he could bum rush us. There's a chance that he backs off. So we've kind of prepared for anything, either option he decides to do. We got game plans for both.
Now, clinching, man. Like, how much do you like to clinch in this sport?
I did not in the beginning, but my boy Tamir, shout out Tamir, he just got back from Thailand not too long ago, and he has drastically helped me with clinch and clinch work. So I think it's a very big mixing his clinch work and like going over things over the last few months, and with my boxing footwork, I love it now. Honestly, I love the inside work.
Yeah, because it seems like clinching is a big part of this sport. There's the offensive clinching, but it seems to be a good defensive thing when somebody's starting to, put them hands on you to go
Yeah,
ahead and just grab and clinch.
grab the clinch, kind of like whip him to the side real quick and get out of there.
Yeah.
Or at least just grab him and kind of like tie him up. I think the clinch is more important. Again, it's Kai does a great. He's one I know we brought up a few times, but there's a few people that have a really good clinch. The one that really stands out was when Trout fought, was it Palomino, and they got real
Yeah.
tight, and he grabbed his hip and whipped to the side and
Yeah.
came up with an uppercut. Stuff like that type of inside work is slick.
And I know when Reber fought Perez, man, Perez clenched the hell out of his ass. And, it doesn't look like a lot of damage, but when them punches to the face and the clinch like that, man, too many of them, man, will wear you down, man.
It is, and they swell. That's such tight little
Yeah,
touch it and just it's like over and over again. But yeah, I think the clinch is I didn't at first, but we have done a drastic change in this fight camp, and we do work clinch.
Now, I follow a lot of guys on social media. Some guys are like BKFC haters and stuff like that. Some people think BKFC isn't gonna last. What you think about that?
I think they're just blowing smoke out of their own ass, but man, I think
You think they're just pure haters? Because
I do think so, and people look at it as a dangerous thing, but I don't. It's exciting, and we're humans, we're barbarians in the soul, and I think nothing really fills that void like bare knuckle.
I mean, what's the difference? We go watch a movie, gangster movies all the time, and be infatuated with gangster movies. I mean, there's so many things I watch that are violent as hell that I freaking love, man.
Oh,
I mean, we just, I mean, it's like, look at Roman society back in the days. These guys were entertained by watching dudes kill each other with swords, man, like chopping off heads. And this is our, Roman American gladiator for society today. This is probably as far as it's going to go. Bare knuckle. We're probably not going to get chopping off heads and stuff
I mean,
anymore.
No, I mean, unless it's online, on Instagram sometimes has some wild shit, but no, I agree. It's that's kind of why I chose this sport. We just talked about this with my boy Tamir at the gym. It's like I chose like the fighting portion of it is. I tell people I was like I'm a good person, but you put me in the right situation, I'm a horrible human being.
Okay.
And it's more of a not
explain that.
Like in a life or death situation, if you are human, everyone decides to go back to our animal instincts, survival.
Yeah. I'm a laws of nature guy.
Yeah. And everybody, but we choose to be good people. That's what make good people.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Bad people are just people that don't choose to, they just stick to their animal instincts is the way I look at it. But when I'm in the ring and I'm fighting, there's nothing more pure than that. I get to truly feel myself, that animal instinct and like that adrenaline rush. And I think that's what the fans get out of it that don't fight, is that pure excitement of the sport.
And for us, being that we don't live like animals, isn't it like I ain't a bare knuckle fighter, but it's just humans in general. It's like our ultimate like survival of the fittest, where it's legal. You don't gotta, nobody's getting killed. I mean, a guy did get killed in bare knuckle, but nobody's killing nobody. But it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah, it's my hard work versus his hard work, or her hard work versus her hard work, or who wants it more in some cases. In BKFC, it's not always, you can get two very high level technical guys in there and it won't be technical. It'll be just a hell of a brawl. You know what I mean? And I think that's the excitement behind it. Sorry, I kind of lost track of what I was talking about there for a second.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, I watched boxing when I was a kid, and boxing ain't what it used to be. Never really got into MMA, but there's just something about bare knuckle, man. I mean, even like some fights, like I'm a lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm big on like the big name fighters typically, but you'll see some fights that are just guys you ain't never really heard of that put on way better fights than some of these big name fights, man.
Yeah,
and you get 8 to 12 fights in a night. I mean, that's a lot of action packed right there, man.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I didn't know any of the guys that were fighting in Dubai.
I
That
didn't either.
But that night one was like finish after finish after
Yeah.
TKO. Then even that decision fight was a 3-round bang or a 5-round banger, and then it was like a finish after finish after finish, and then we had like a few finished decisions, but they were still. The Bret Hart fight was an amazing 5-rounder. They had basically the fight of a lifetime there. They said that one. So I
Oh, you
think,
talking about the Tony guy, right?
yeah. That fight was absolutely
No, that kind of reminded me. It reminded me like a little bit of Loco Soto versus Tenaglia without the big
yes,
names, because
yes.
that's another fight where you could tell once they hit the third round, man, their cardio was
It
they were
was.
exhausted, dude.
But they did not, you could not, they were leaning on each other, falling over, but
Yeah,
as they were leaning shoulder to shoulder, they were swinging uppercuts. And it's just like you said, man, it's some of the times like I'm usually for the big name ones, but that's kind of why this year I promised myself that I wasn't only going to be a fighter, but I was going to be a fan also, because I got to learn the sport. So I have been learning to enjoy the lower level fighters that come in and put on a great show, because now even as a fighter myself, I get to watch their journey from
yeah.
here to there, just like they get to watch my journey from here to there.
So what
So
do
it's
you love
exciting.
most about this sport?
The people. I would have to say I have met more cool people. I have amazing people in the
Now,
MMA
when you mean the
community that
people, you mean like the people in the organization, the fighters and stuff like that?
the fighters, the fans, the
Okay.
organization, like you said, I jump a lot into these like with Brian Sosha and these guys, and I introduce myself, and they are friendly. He gave me a shout out. I've met more. I haven't met these people, but I feel like these people are cool. They
Like you already
support me.
know them.
Yeah, like they show me real support because I do not know
Yeah.
them. They drop that follow button because they enjoy what I put out, who I am as a person. So I feel like I've got more followers and I would consider friends throughout my bare knuckle journey than the whole 12 to 15 years I did in my MMA career. I have my loyal followers from back home and few here and there, but like an all around outreach of people of networking, bare knuckle is amazing. The people are amazing.
I think I gotta agree with you. Like I've interviewed so many guys, and the haters can say what they want, but I've heard family, organization. I mean, there's times when I'm just commenting and Brian shout me out and just kind of recognize it. Like he said something yesterday or the other day, he was like, "Yo, appreciate you covering the sport the way you do." And I was like, it feels good that people recognize my hard work. I'm not a bare knuckle fighter, but I feel
Mhm.
like I fight hard and I work hard to promote you guys.
No,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? I put every day into, clips. And I got two podcasts. I got the hip hop one
Yeah.
and I got the bare knuckle, but I get way more love in this bare knuckle world than I do in this hip hop world. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know a lot of people in the hip hop world because I've done music promotion for 15 years and stuff, but it's just not the same.
No.
Like fighters never are trying to charge me for interviews. You got rappers that are bums now that nobody even talks about and thinks about. And when I hit them up to try to interview them, because I appreciate what they did, they like, yo, how much money you got? Like, dog, come on, man. You're not even worth
Yeah.
nothing no more, man.
Yeah, I get that. And I did part of the gaming community too. I got into like the streaming, like competitive gaming a little bit there. And they're the
Yeah.
same way, man. Like you guys can jump into other podcasts and people are like, oh, hell yeah, man. What's up? Thank you for what you're doing for the sport. Thank you for this. They'll just block you and be like, don't talk in my chat. Don't come up in here, bro, and be like that. It's like, yo, listen here, dude. You sit on your ass all day. You're not even working a real job. Just, you know what I mean? Like at that
Yeah.
point, like, don't treat other people like shit. Like, just don't do it, man. How else are we going to grow as a platform? And then at that time, the platform shut down and everyone had to split up and go somewhere else for streaming at that point. But it was just the only way people are going to grow is by working with each other, even if you have to fight each other. That's why I follow a lot of 25ers because I care about their journey. When it comes to me, I'm going to have to put it on pause for a little bit, but I still like seeing everybody succeed.
Now, do you ever lose respect for a guy that gets into the match and like quits?
Yes.
Even if he, like, I mean,
It
I would say it still takes somewhat of a brave person to just get in the bare knuckle, period.
Oh, absolutely. But coming from a fighter's point of view, it's like I look at it like, yes, I give you respect. I'm good for you. You did that.
Yeah.
But now 110% you're going home and you're flashing that around like I'm a professional bare knuckle fighter.
Okay.
Like, well,
Yeah.
you can't do that, man. I've spent 15 years of my life putting towards this sport, and we just got people like you that get this opportunity, and you suck ass. And now you're just trying to be. You just want the thing to be a fighter, or they go to ask for more money, and it's like, hey, dude, you won one fight. You don't need to do that. And again,
Now,
this is just I'm 0-2, so I'm I can't say too much because I don't know their sides of it. But in both my fights, even the one with AJ Rodriguez, when he
mhm,
dropped me in 23 seconds, if you look at that fight, I did everything in my fucking power to get back to my feet. I fell over twice. I was out, hit the mat, woke up, and the first thing my heart decided to do in fight or flight was get up and keep fighting.
yeah.
I did not stop that fight. The ref stopped that fight. You go into one with Mike. I got
Well,
up.
same thing with that. I just thought you got up a little too early with the one with Mike. I thought
With
you
Mike,
tried to jump up too fast. That's another thing I realized. Guys try to, they get knocked down, and I guess the pride hits them like, oh, I got to get up quick,
yep.
like. But I
And I
even
agree.
see like Brandon took a knee last fight because he was getting fucked up, and they said, like, yeah, that was a smart thing to do. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
kind of just regain your composure and whatnot.
He's a high level of fighter. As you can tell, he's been in there, he's done this. And like I said, when I say my composure fell, was I go back and I look at it and I 100% agree with you. If I would have taken an extra second to just
Hmm.
sit on my knee up until about 5 or 6, stand up at 7, 8 or 9, just relax, take a breather, maybe the fight would have gone and, it could have done that. But being the fact that I got dropped in 23 seconds, my first one, my pride hit me and I'm like, Anthony, get up. Get up. I used the rope to get up and I just stood there and I looked at him. I was like, okay, Anthony, you're going to do this. And, I ended up stumbling. It was a good stoppage. I think, Mike stumbled too, but I can't really dread on the past. I got to just focus on how to not let that happen again.
When Brandon Allen lost to that, what was it, Gaffey or whatever his name was, that little, I mean, that dude was a little bulldog to me. There was something that made me think about what Kai Stewart said in the second interview with him, that Brandon Allen never fought nobody who was ranked.
Okay. See, and I
You're
wasn't
a ranked guy who never fought nobody who's ranked. I think that has to make a difference.
Yes, I think so too. Or you got to pull him.
Gaffey is a problem. Somebody said.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
Yeah, I thought he fought a really good fight. I mean, he beat the brakes off of Brandon Allen. I mean, he was spitting out blood towards the end.
He's slick, and he the way he dips and he's really tight and his hook. He's fast for 45er.
Yeah.
He is very fast.
All right, so what we got? We got less than a month away, right?
Yep, 3 weeks coming up
For
here.
your fight. Now, you're from Minnesota though, right?
Yes,
Originally? You big on your boy Anthony Edwards?
I am not. I actually have really down to my focus to just strictly fighting nowadays. I don't play
Okay.
video games. I don't really keep up with sports. I wake up, I cook breakfast for the family, I work out, I go to work, go straight to the gym, come home, and then I go for my nightly runs. I run a few miles every night just to kind of get used to because I think they're an hour ahead of us or an hour behind us, one of the
Yeah.
two, down in there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be fighting on an outside show. So for the last all camp, I've been doing 9 o'clock, 9:30 runs with a sweater on to get used to the
Yeah.
humidity. Just kind of getting used to my body up there. So I do that at night. So I really haven't had time to keep up with anything. And I'm a Sixers fan, and they keep losing.
So I saw you posted some videos like sparring with your wife. You had her having the I guess those pads over her chest and stuff like that. Like, is she getting into fighting at all?
We've been together 15 years, and she has trained with me on and off for them
Mm-hmm.
15 years. besides the 2 times she decided to get pregnant. I don't know how, but nah, but even now she trains full time. She's also been in the gym with me losing weight. She's down 45 pounds in the last year too, so that is awesome. But she would like to get in there at sometimes. We train for it, and I think probably an amateur bare knuckle one is what she would want to do. Yeah, and she does. She holds that stuff for me.
Beat with the pad all the time.
She is my designated pad holder when my outside of classes.
Is that kind of like help out like the family structure too, because y'all able to have quality time while you're training and stuff like that?
Yes, because our kids also train at the same place we do. So they go to class 4 days a week, and then we're there 6 days a week. So we're always in the gym together. It actually just works out super perfect for our family because everything we do is together. Most parents are like, you're going to graduate high school when you're in my house, or you're going to do this when you're in my house. Well, for us, we look at our kids and it's like, as long as you're in our house, you will be going to a martial arts school and you'll be learning to defend yourself. So
before we let you go, we got a message for Chachi Versace.
Hope you're training hard, my man. All them pictures you're taking of yourself on your deck, bending over with all your jewelry, man, that ain't going to win you a fight. All them days you're deciding to hang out with your friends and go to parades, I want you to know I stalked you. I know what you were doing, and I made sure I trained 3 times that day, because when you're out there having fun, I'm not. This is all I want to do. This is everything. I've spent 15 years waiting for this opportunity. I'm 0-2 and my back's against the wall, and unfortunately you're the one in front of me and that I have to take out. I'm ready to silence the crowd. I fully believe in my skill set. I also respect you, but that is the last time you will hear me say that, because in 3 weeks it will be a massacre in Clearwater.
And any shout outs you want to do? Any sponsors, anything?
Yes, I would like to first shout out Scott Farley over at Goat and Core. You brought my family in. Thank you. You made me believe in myself again. My wife, for always being there. My teammates, Tamir, Alex, Will, all you guys, and my sponsors, Makotech Mouthguards, Lactigo, Combat Corner, Combat Candy, Voodoo Graphics, Visuals, S Visuals, Insanity Fightwear, Valhalla Beard Care, and Noble Software. And then, of course, Triple P, my man, you, because you allowed me to come on here and hang out with me and help better myself also.
I actually got one more question. So the nickname Devil's Advocate, I don't remember if I asked you, did you come up with that or somebody gave you that?
My mom gave it to me. I'm not a religious person, but she told me
I'm not either.
Is that the Devil's Advocate chooses if you go to heaven or not, is the way she told me. So in the fight world, the Devil's Advocate, to get to the top, you got to get through me. Because when I was 16, I was running through people. I was like 3-1, had my first title fight within 2 months. I think I had 4 fights in 2 months. The quickest turnaround, I think I fought a Saturday, turned around and fought the next Friday. There was no commission back then. It was walk-in shows.
Yeah.
It was, my mom gave me that one because at the time, to be the best, you had to go through me.
So it had nothing to do with the movie?
Nothing to do with the movie, nothing to do with really religious. It was like, just, I am the decision maker if you're going to be the best or not, because I am the best. So if you want to be the best, you got to go through me.
Well, I appreciate you taking out the time, man. I know I probably should never be saying this because a lot of these guys I'm going to end up interviewing, but I'm rooting for you.
I appreciate the support, my man. He has plenty. So I will take.
I don't know if you know, I was supposed to join Knuckletown officials at one point, but some little situation kind of happened. We're not going to get into that story or whatnot. So
now
I always kind of looked at them as the competition, man. Ever since that,
competition, but friends at the same time. That's the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing.
No bad blood, but we're different.
Nothing personal, strictly business.
Strictly business, and that's the way I'm looking at Chachi, man. It's strictly business. I have enough friends. I don't need no more. And that was my other thing throughout my MMA careers. I was always worried about making friends. This time around, this run, now that I'm 0-2, I don't care who likes me or who doesn't like me. I just want to go get that title. And I got a long road ahead of me.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. You're more welcome to come on here anytime you want.
Sure.
Can't wait to see you fight. That's gonna be a stacked card too, anyways.
I am super pumped for that card. My boy Career.
Yeah, the Florida cards always seem to be pretty popping, man.
We'll shout out Creer because he's a GOAT fighter also before I skedaddle.
I'm gonna have to look up his footage, check him out. I mean, Warren got beat last time, so I mean, there's no telling what's gonna happen. I think Jay Jackson and Jomi Escobosa is gonna be an interesting one too.
Yeah, that one too. I'm excited for Reber to be back.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's my guy, man. That's my guy. I mean,
I'm a fan of him. Quentin, he's another one that, truthfully, I just follow his career on Instagram, and I think he's a good dude, and I'm excited
I'm
to
not
watch him.
familiar with him. Quentin Gaskins, I'm gonna have to check him out.
Yeah, I just like his style. He seems to really just want to help people. Like, that's all he does. You know?
And I like Joe White too.
I don't know if I know him.
Yeah, he's pretty good, man. He's gonna have a tough one though, because he's 2-1 and the Joe Ray's 2-0. And they some big boys.
Okay.
So
Yeah, there are some good ones. There's some
and
some
you got
decent
Alex
ones.
Castro over here. I mean,
Uh,
he's 0-2, but he don't look like a guy that I would want to run into on a dark
no,
alley.
me neither. Who's Castro fighting? He's fighting
Nathan Rivera.
Yeah, Rivera. That's the one.
He's 3-0.
The Rivera era.
Yeah, I mean, you got Crystal. You got two shift people on here. I mean, Michael Larimore, he need to do something because he got to make a comeback because Keith Richardson bullied him, and then you
Yeah,
got the beautiful Crystal Pittman, of
it's
course.
actually
I'm trying to interview
pretty
her.
big card. I'm excited to be on it because of the few bigger names that are on there.
Yeah, you're on a nice card here. This is definitely a lot bigger than the last one you did, I think.
Yeah, and all throughout. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm super pumped.
And
to
people are
see
definitely
how
gonna
I
be
do it.
watching y'all's fight because people that Chachi gotta being that he's with Knuckletown and all that. And I don't know if you remember when his during the hurricanes and all that, like he lost his crib and all that and stuff. So a lot of BKFC people looked out on the cookout from what I heard. And
that's another thing.
That's what family's about, you know, I guess.
Is, man, the bare knuckle family is somebody that, it's a good group of people to be around. So that's why I said that this is not just for the win itself, but this is to see if I am who I say I am. I'm talking a big game. I'm going to go in there and I want to see how I perform under the pressure of being in his hometown, in his venue, around his family and his friends, and with, and I'm excited for it. See how I perform.
All right, well, we better let you go. We just hit that hour, a little over the hour mark. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna clip up a bunch of clips. We'll have some clips going out, all up into the fight, man. And
shout out to Cuts. I seen that popped up on the screen for me, man. He's gonna get me cleaned up while I go out there, man. But I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
All right, man. Enjoy your day, man.
All right, man. Much love. Appreciate you.
All right, you too. All right, peace. Well, shouts out to Anthony Yost, Devil's Advocate. Really good card he's fighting on. BKFC Fight Night Clearwater, May 2nd, 2025, 7 p.m. Eastern. Looks like he is the first fight with Chachi. You got Quentin Gaskins, Logan, Spearer, looks like Joe Ray, Joseph White, Nathan Rivera versus Alex Castro. You got Crystal Pittman versus Claudia Zamora. And Michael Larimore versus Samuel Samples, who looks pretty cocky. And you got my guy Jay Jackson. Go check out that interview fighting Jomi Escobosa. That's gonna be a tough one. Jomi's 9-2. And then you got my guy Ryan Royal Reber fighting Matt Guyman. I'm not too familiar with him, but he's 1-0. And then Jared Warren versus Joseph Creer. That's gonna be interesting as well. And don't forget, also, you got a couple more events coming up. April 18th, you got BKFC Fight Night Omaha. Cochran versus my guy Marcus Edwards. Definitely got an interview with him. Go check that out. Still got BKFC 73 in Italy. Kamosi versus Hunt. And I definitely think Hunt's going to win that. You still got BKFC on the zone, Salt Lake City. Richmond versus Dyer. That's going to be... Oh, that's going to be interesting. Because Dyer is no joke. And can't wait to see what this Italy card is going to look like as well. I want to see this guy Hayes Happy fight versus Steve Banks. Really interested to see his debut in BKFC. And you got Rico Franco versus Jimmy Sweeney as well. All right, well, appreciate y'all tuning in. We go live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And also, I will take the audio version and I will upload it to Appreciate you, Ant. Anytime, man. Much love. So I will take the audio version and I will download that and upload that to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. And the video version, of course, goes to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, and BitChute as well. Once again, appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of Paul Pickett Podcast. And I have been off for a couple weeks from interviews. I was dealing with a little minor health issue, nothing life threatening, just something kind of more of just discomfort and pain and whatnot. But it's not gonna hold me back. As long as I'm alive and breathing, I'm still gonna keep moving forward. And also go follow the Live from Vietnam podcast as well if y'all like music or hip hop music. We do a lot of interviews over there as well with a lot of the hip hop artists from the 90s and 80s and R&B artists from the 90s and 80s as well. So definitely follow Live from Vietnam and follow Paul Pickett Podcast on all social medias. Also go follow the TikTok as well because clips go to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and much, much more. And appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace. I'm out.